Deliver us by thy mercy from the disbelieving people.
Ibn Adama, alumalu male. Ibn Adama, wa jannatu jannati. Ibn Adama, alumalu male. Ibn Adama, wa jannatu jannati.
मोहब्बत के नगमात गाएंगे हम, अखुवत की ताने उड़ाएंगे हम।
MTA International brings you its smart TV app to unlock the full potential of today's technology. Watch all your favorite MTA programs in true high-definition quality, from a voice coming from a phonograph a century ago, to seeing our Imam live on our TV screens every week. The message of the true Islam is reverberating to every corner of the world. Accessing content across MTA 1, MTA 2, MTA Al Arabiya and MTA Africa. Simply download the MTA Smart TV app on the following platforms:
अपने बाने का निशान है MTA, एक मुकद्दस नाम का मज़हर है ये।
मोहब्बत के नगमात गाएंगे हम, अखुवत की ताने उड़ाएंगे हम। सल्ले अला नबीना, सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन, सल्ले अला नबीना, सल्ले सल्ले अला हबीबिना, सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन, सल्ले अला रहीमिना, सल्ले अला सल्ले अला करीमिना, सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन, सल्ले अला नबीना, सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन, सल्ले अला नबीना, सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन, सल्ले अला हबीबिना, सल्ले अला بلغ العلا بكماله كشف الدجى بجماله بلغ العلا بكماله كشف الدجى بجماله حسن جميع خصاله صلوا عليه وآله صل على نبينا صل على محمد صل على نبينا صل على محمد صل على حبيبنا صل على صل على إمامنا صل على محمد صل على نبينا صل على محمد صل على حبيبنا صل على محمد صل
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على السلام. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. مسلمانوں کی
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I was mentioning about those who turned away during the time of Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Muhajir, Hazrat Ikrama, Hazrat who went to Hadhr al-Maut, and they went to pursue and to stop the advancement of the opponents. Of course, I had went in much detail, but now I want to touch further on what happened. But once they established a once they had a stronghold in Hadhr al-Maut, they wrote Hazrat Abu Bakr and informed him about all their achievements and the activities there. At that time, Mu'az bin Jabal and all the leaders who were there since the time of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were mentioned to Hazrat Abu Bakr. Rather, Hazrat Abu Bakr and all the other leaders, he gave them the choice whether to remain in the positions in which they were before or to come to Medina. And after giving this choice and after giving that authority, they all returned to Medina. And then they were given the authority to go and meet Ikrimah. And they were told to go to Hazrat Maut, and Ziyad bin Labid was ordered to give him support. And they were given the orders that those who were fighting within Yemen and between Mecca and Medina, those who want to return, they can return. Unless people want to insist and they will say that we want to fight, you leave them. Once Hazrat Ikrimah received the letter from Hazrat Abu Bakr in which he was given the order that go and meet Jabir bin Umayyah, who is coming from Thana, and both of you should pursue the tribe of Kinda. When he received this letter, Ikrimah came out and went to Yemen and started to wait for Muhajir bin Umayyah. Regarding the people of Kinda, it is written in Tabri how they were pursued, that before they turned away, Kinda and Hazar al-Maut, Kinda is a place and Hazar al-Maut is another place. Regarding the collection of Sadaqah and Zakat from this area, they were given orders from the Holy Prophet ﷺ that some of the money should be collected in Kinda and some of the money should be collected in Hazar al-Maut, meaning that any collection from either places can be spent on both places. The people of Kinda, regarding this, said that, O Prophet of Allah, Ya Rasulullah, we have no camels, but if it is your wish, then the people who can bring wealth to us via camel, they should bring us wealth. And then the Holy Prophet ﷺ told the people of Hadar al-Maut to comply with this. And then they said, if they really don't have camels, we shall do as ordered. But when the Holy Prophet ﷺ died and passed away, and the time to collect zakat, Ziyad called the people, and they gathered around him. And the people of Banu Waliyah, the people of Kanda, they said that as you promised the Holy Prophet ﷺ, you should bring our zakat to us, as it was promised during the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And then he said, if you have your animals, bring your animals and then load your zakat. They refused to deliver themselves, and then the people of Kinda, they remained adamant too. They would move one foot forward, one step forward, and then they would take one foot back. And those who had refused to pay zakat, they waited for Hazrat Muhajir to come. And when Hazrat Abu Bakr wrote to Muhajir and Ikrimah that both of you should go to Hadar al-Maut and leave Ziyad to be in charge in his position, and the people who are with you between Yemen and Mecca, you can allow them to return, apart from those who want to participate in battle on their own volition, and send Kinda for the support of Ziyad. And Hazrat Muhajir receiving these instructions from Hazrat Abu Bakr, he went from Hazal Maut, and Ikrimah also left from Hazal Maut, and they met at a place called Ma'arib. Both of them, they crossed the desert called Sehrab, and they reached Hazal Maut. The Khinda people who were crossed with Hazrat Zaid, then one person from them took responsibility to collect zakah. One of them presented the camel, and then Hazrat Zaid marked it. He stamped on it to indicate that this is for zakat. And when one of the youth said that was by mistake, and then Hazrat Zaid said he was not happy to change the camel, which was appointed for this. And then the people who were to give camels, they were called. And when they insisted to change the camel, then Hazrat Zaid insisted that no, those camels which have earmarked for this, they would do that. And then they opened them by force, or they released them by force, and then they took hold of the wealth, and they called support, and then Muawiyah, they came for the support of Banu Samad. Banu Muawiyah are those who are from Haris bin Muawiyah, and they were tributes, they were branches of the tribe of Kinda. Hazrat Ziyad refused to release the people who were apprehended, but until he said, I will remain holding them until you disperse. And then when they dispersed, then Hazrat Zaid released the prisoners of war. But when they returned, they started preparing for war. Then Banu Haris and Qashash bin Qais and Samit bin Aswad, they all returned to their places, and they refused to pay zakah, and they apostated. And upon this, Hazrat Zaid collected the army and then attacked Banu Amir. And many people from this tribe were killed, and many also escaped. And Hazrat Zaid, he arrested many and sent them to Medina. And from Hashar, the enemies attacked and then released their people from the Muslims. And the Qaik tribesmen, they also joined hands with the enemies, and they say they pronounced the turning away. And then Hazrat Muhajir wrote to Ikrimah and made him his assistant, and then took his army and attacked Kinda. And the people of Kinda, they went to the place called Nuhair, and this was a fort in Yemen. And there were three ways to this fort. As one of them was taken by Zaid, and another one was given by Jabir, and then the Kinda tribe were coming through another avenue, another route. Hazrat Ziyad and Jabir was comprised of about 5,000 believers, and there were also other allies with them. And the people of Nuair, when they saw this, that the Muslims were getting support, then they were so much frightened. And then their leader, Ashish, went to Ikrimah and then sought truce. And then Ikrimah took this man to Hazrat Muhajir, and then Ashish, with 9 people, they sought truce on the conditions that the Muslims will allow them to open the fort. And then Hazrat Muhajir also accepted the conditions. And then Hazrat Ashar with 9 people, because of the fear, they wrote, but he forgot his name in the agreement and to mention his name in the truce. Then Ashash went back with his people. And when they opened the gates, then the Muslims entered. And then 700 people from the Kindi tribe were killed. And then the people in the fort, they resisted and they fought back. Nevertheless, their men also were killed, and 1,000 women, they were apprehended. And many, they were also forgiven. But Ashash's name, because it remained, it was not in the truth, he was not left. And then Hazrat Ikrimah requested that he should be released to go to Hazrat Abu Bakr as well. And then they say, leave it to Hazrat Abu Bakr to decide on this. And when the Muslims received the news of the victory of Muslims and the message came to Hazrat Abu Bakr, then Hazrat Abu Bakr called Hazrat Ashash. And then he said, you were deceived by Banu Umayrah. And then you could not maintain this. And then of course, they were destroyed. And they have also destroyed your people. Don't you fear that you should receive the portion of the Holy Prophet's wrath and the prayer he made against you? And then the people who had accepted Islam with Ashash and then apostated, Hazrat Abu Bakr addressed them and then said that, how should I treat you now? How should I deal with you? And then Ashash said, I don't know what your opinion is. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr said that in my opinion, you should be killed. And then he said, I am that one who broke the truce between you and the Muslims. Then why do you pass this verdict against me? And then he asked that, are you the one who broke the truce? And then he said, yes. Then Hazrat Abu Bakr said that if they gave the responsibility to you and you came to them, did you also sign on the truce? And then he asked that as you agreed on the conditions of the truce, was everything fulfilled as you demanded? And because he feared that he would be killed, then he said, forgive me and forgive me my weaknesses, my shortcomings, and allow me to be among Muslims. And forgive me all my past. And I request that my wife should be released. It is written that before this incident, one time Ashash also came to the Holy Prophet during the time of the Holy Prophet. And then he sent a message to Abu Quhafa. And then Hazrat Abu Quhafa had given his daughter to him for marriage. And then they waited for him to come back. But nevertheless, after the death of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Ashash turned away. And then because of this, Ashash did not receive the daughter of Abu Quhafa, the sister of Abu Bakr. And then at that time he said that you will find me to be the best among the people of my tribe. And then at that time Hazrat Abu Bakr forgave him. And then he released the prisoners of war. And then he told him that I hope that I'll receive good news from you in the future. In this way, Hazrat Abu Bakr released Ashash and the prisoners of war, and they were all left to go back to their home places. And in another narration, it is said that because they broke the truce, some of them could not return. And Ashash with Urwa remained in Medina. They didn't go. And then when Hazrat Abu Bakr ordered people to go to Iran and Iraq, then he went out with the army to fight the Romans. And he played a very big role. And that's why his position was elevated afterwards. And he received his previous glory. Hazrat Muhajir, before Islam was fully established, Hazrat Muhajir and Akrama, they remained in Hadarul Maut before Islam was fully established. These were the last battles against those who had apostated, and many tribes, they came under the control of Islam, and Hazrat Muhajir established peace. And in order to stop the revolts, he remained very strong, and he acted in the way he acted in Yemen. Hazrat Abu Bakr, he gave them a choice to either to remain in Yemen or Hadar al-Maut, and then he decided to remain in Yemen, rather in Hadar al-Maut, which was close to Yemen. Hazrat Abu Bakr wrote to those who were in charge, and he said, Amma ba'd, to me the most preferable thing is that you should only leave those in charge who did not turn away before. Though they have turned back, some of them have turned, you should not choose those in charge to be in charge who turned away in the past. And I want you to all work on this. And those who want to come back, let them come back. And don't take support from those who showed weaknesses before. And most of the writers and most of the historians mentioning these expeditions of Hazrat Abu Bakr, they say that those people who had claimed false prophethood, they were fought against them and they were killed. And this was the required punishment for them to be killed. But this cannot be supported because the Holy Quran is categorical and very clear. And the practice of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, I've already talked about this, that the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he did not fight against those who claim to be prophets, neither the expeditions of the Hazrat Abu Bakr were just to tackle these people. Rather, the reason for the expeditions of Hazrat Abu Bakr was because of the revolt from the Muslims and those who joined hands with them. Then it is mentioned that why did the Sahaba, the companions, fought against the false prophets? It is written that the companions fought all those who claim to be prophets after the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But this is against the character of the companions of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Maududi Sahib should be clear about this point, that those who claim to be prophets during the time of the Holy Prophet and after the Prophet are those who turned against the Islamic government, and they fought the Islamic government which was established. And furthermore, the second Caliph writes that we wish that people, before they express their views, they should read the true history of Islam. They would know that people like Musaylima Kazzab, Aswad al-Ansi, Sajjad bin Hajis, Tulayha bin Khuwaylid al-Asadi, all these were those people who refused to come under the government of Medina, and they were establishing their own free government. And Muslim Maud, the second Caliph, further writes that in the history of Ibn Khaldun, if you clearly and you ponder upon this historian, you would see that the opinion of Maududi Sahib is wrong, because the Arabs, whether the special ones or the common Arabs, when their turning away was received in Medina, it was Thaqif. It was only 2 tribes from the crash. And they, Asad, Thuwaila bin Khuwailid accepted to follow him, and the people of Hawazin also stopped giving zakat. And Sawad bin Murrah also turned against Islam. And the leaders who were appointed by the Holy Prophet during his time, they all returned and left the areas. And then they say that the people from the Arabs, big or small, they all refused to be obedient. And Hazrat Abu Bakr, when he ordered Usama to return, but the people of Zayjan, they came to Medina and they camped near Medina. And also other people joined them and camped near Medina. The people of Banu Asad and Banu Kinana, they also, a few from this tribe, they also joined. And they sent a delegation to Hazrat Abu Bakr. And they said that before the off of the namaz, before the prayers, we are ready to accept the condition of prayers, but we don't accept the condition of paying zakat. And Hazrat Abu Bakr did not accept this. And the second Caliph writes that it is very clear that the companions fought only those who had turned against the Islamic nation, and they had refused to pay tax, and they attacked, and they came and camped near Medina with the intention to attack. That's why they were fought against. Musallama Kadhab, during the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he wrote to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and said that half is for Arabs and half is for you Muslims. And after the death of the Holy Prophet ﷺ from Hajar and Yamama, he had driven out a few tribesmen from there, and he became in charge, and he killed and fought some Muslims there. That's why Habib bin Zaid, Abdullah bin Wahab, who were arrested by them and insisted that they should follow him, like I've already talked about this, that Abdullah bin Wahab had accepted, but Habib bin Zaid did not accept his request. And Musallima cut his limbs one by one and burnt them in fire. Likewise, those who were appointed in Yemen, some of them were arrested and some of them were punished, severely punished. And in the book of Tabri, it is written that Aswad al-Ansi had also revolted. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the appointed people by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he tortured them and wanted to take the zakat away from them. And even those who were appointed in Sana'a, Shahr bin Baizan was also attacked. And he killed many Muslims as well. And he even looted their wealth. And even he married the wife of the leader in that place by force. And many people also joined Aswad al-Ansi and Amr bin Hazm and Khalid bin Zaid. They were driven out of their area. And it is very clear from all these happenings before about these incidents that people were not fought against because they claimed to be prophets and because they were trying to establish their faith and their religion, but it is rather they wanted to turn against they fought against the Islamic nation. And they did not only claim areas after the death of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, they attacked the established government, they killed Muslims, and they declared their independence. And then Maududi Sahib to claim that the Holy Prophet ﷺ's that the Holy Prophet fought all the claimants or the false claimants. then it is wrong. Will it be true that Musaylima Kazzab and Aswad and Ansi, they were all humans who claimed prophethood and they were killed later on? They were not supporting Islam in any way. Their actions were counter-Islam. Now there's no point to twist the truth and then present another position which does not befit the historical facts. Nevertheless, after pacifying the area regarding those who are turned away, it is written that at the time when the areas were under the control of Islam and everything was settled, then at that time Hazrat Abu Bakr had expeditiously pacified the area, and which shows the power of Hazrat Abu Bakr and his wisdom and understanding he had. In a very short period of time, he quelled the situations and put everything under control. And this was a very big role of Hazrat Abu Bakr. Was fully aware that this can happen again. And all the foreign powers which were against Islam, Hazrat Abu Bakr was wary that they may attack once again. So Hazrat Abu Bakr was not so proud or not very happy about this. So it was felt necessary that they should remain in control on the border of Yemen so that the enemies cannot attack from there. And all the borders of the Muslim borders, they were under protection at all time. It became necessary that we should spread the message of Islam so that if they accept Islam, if they become to be our allies, then we can live in peace together. And we can be protected from their attacks and their transgression. And this is what Hazrat Abu Bakr tried to achieve. And how did he achieve this? Regarding this, we find in the books of his history that after the expeditions of Hazrat Abu Bakr, then Hazrat Abu Bakr thought about the future, and he was very busy in protecting the Muslim state. He wanted a program of action in order to remain protected from the Yemenis and from the Romans. And of course, the Romans and the Persians, they wanted to put the Arabs under control. And after the death of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the people revolted. And of course, all these revolts, there was a hand from these big tribes, from the other bigger states who were surrounding the Muslim state. That's why the Muslim army started to gather in Iran and in Yemen, and also in Iraq. Hazrat Abu Bakr sent an army which was led by Osama to the Romans. But before Hazrat Abu Bakr had devised a proper way of action, he received a message that Musanna bin Hartha, who had helped the enemy before, had gathered his army and he was coming via the Gulf from the Khalij, and he was trying to attack. And he came to those tribes who were from Dajla and also from the Euphrates areas. And then Hazrat Musanna bin Harth with a tribe from Waqid with which he was connected with, they were coming from the Persian area. They wanted to attack Bahrain. Bahrain was the center then. The Rhine was the center then. Hazrat Harsa with Hazrami, they had fought before. And the people who remained on Islam within Bahrain, and who had also fought with the Muslims against the enemies before, these were led by Hazrat Musanna. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu had not decided yet on what to be done. Then Hazrat Musanna came to Medina, and then he informed him about what was happening within Iraq, that the people who were in Dajla, Bahrain, they were under threat. They were being tortured. When they grow their crops, and once they are ready, the enemies steal their crops. And then Musanna requested Hazrat Abu Bakr to send an army to help these Muslims there. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr took an opinion and put the proposal of Hazrat Musanna before the people of Medina. And because the people of Medina didn't know about the area of Iraq, they called for Hazrat Khalid bin Walid to take counsel from him as well. Hazrat Khalid bin Walid at that time was in Yamama, and then Hazrat Abu Bakr at that time called him to Medina. And then when Hazrat Khalid reached Medina, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu put the proposal of Hazrat Musanna before him. And then he said, if we attack them and we fail in the attack, then the Iranians will become stronger. Rather, it will be difficult for us to re-establish our stronghold within Bahrain if we fail in our attack. And this can create trouble to the Muslim state. And he said and suggested that in order to save ourselves from this trouble, we should only support them financially. And we should only send Musanna to those people, so that if they see a strong army in place, they won't be able to attack. And hearing the opinion of Hazrat Khalid, then everyone else, they took the opinion of Hazrat Musanna as Hazrat had suggested, that they should go and then stop the advancement of the enemy from that area. And then the orders were that you should convince the Arabs from among those areas to join you, to accept Islam. And they should be reassured that in case of any attack, they will receive support from Medina. And for some historians, they are of the opinion that Musanna had come to Medina for support. But he never met Hazrat Abu Bakr. And they say they had to fight the army of Hormuz. Hormuz was the one who was in charge of the borders. And to meet Caesar, it was very difficult. Only those who had influence in society could meet him. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr had received the news about what was happening along the borders. He had not heard anything about Musanna at that time. And of course, he had played a big role in the areas of Yemen. And then he conferred with Hazrat Khalid that they should send an army towards those areas. In any case, Hazrat Saad bin Ghanam, they were told to go to Jandal, and this was a place which was between Yemen and Iraq, which was at a short distance from Medina. Rather, it took about 16 days to get to that place. After some time, they reached to Hira. Of course, Hazrat Abu Ubaidah, radiallahu anhu, at the time of his death, he had appointed his assistant in Syria. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr said, I will not change that person who was appointed as Amir by Hazrat Abu Ubaidah. And Hazrat Abu Bakr said, Hazrat Khalid bin Walid and Hazrat Ghanam, whoever gets there first will take the lead of the army, should be the commander. And according to another narration, Hazrat Khalid bin Walid, when he was free from Yamama, then Hazrat Abu Bakr wrote to him that they should start from Abullah and then they should go to Iraq. And then he should gather those people around him who are Muslims, and then they should go to Hira. If they're able to advance from Hira, then they should advance and go ahead. But if they can't, then they should ask jizya, they should ask task from them. And he said they should not force anyone to go and fight with them by force. And they should not take help from anyone who turned away from Islam before, even if they returned afterwards. And then whoever they can gather along the way, they should gather an army. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr started to prepare an army. And then Hazrat Khalid bin Walid, when he started from Yamama towards Iraq, he divided his army in 3 groups. And he sent them on different routes. And Musanna had advanced a day before, and there were Hatim was leading one battalion, and then Hazrat Khalid bin Walid moved afterwards, and then they all wanted to meet at the place called Hafir. Hafir is a place which is near Basra, which is close to Basra. And this was the very stronghold at these border areas by then. And the command, and of course, there were all attacks from the people, from the Indians, the people of India from one side. And of course, Hazrat Khalid bin Walid had already fought in Yamama, in the Battle of Yamama. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr had instructed that anybody who doesn't want to go should not be forced. And also the orders were that anybody who turned away before cannot join you, should not join you. And unless they receive special permission from Hazrat Abu Bakr, no one should advance. Then he wrote to Hazrat Abu Bakr, and then he said that I want Qaqa bin Amr to support me. And then people were astonished to say this. And then he said, you are only sending one person, Qaqa, when a lot have already turned away. And then Hazrat Abu Bakr answered and said that an army which is led by a person like by Qaqa cannot face any defeat. And then he wrote a letter to Hazrat Khalid bin Walid, and he said that all those who remained Muslims during the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and those who fought the enemy should join you. And then Hazrat Khalid started to prepare an army. regarding the farmers in Iraq who are facing problems, it is written that the Arabs were working as farmers in the areas of Iraq, and they did not receive much out of their crops. The most of the harvest would be taken by the landlords. And these landlords used to meet a lot of torture against the Arabs. Then Hazrat Abu Bakr gave orders to the commanders in those areas that the Arabs should never be tortured, should not be killed. Rather, they are Arabs who are also facing tortures from their landlords. Rather, once we establish a Muslim government there, then they will receive justice and they will be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And of course, the ways were made clear, avenues were they opened up for the success of the Hazrat Khalid's battalion. When Hazrat Khalid camped at Nawaj, Hazrat Musanna was still in Khafan with his army. Nawaj is between Basra and Yamama. Khufan is also another place near Kufa. And then Hazrat Khalid wrote to Musanna and he said he should come to him. And he sent a letter of Hazrat Abu Bakr with orders which were given to Hazrat Musanna. All these details are from the book of Tabri. It is said that Hazrat Khalid was sent himself, Hazrat Abu Bakr sent Khalid in person. And nevertheless, what happened in Yemen and Bahrain, I shall give further details in the next sermons, inshallah. And of course, the companions during the era of Hazrat Abu Bakr, the battles that took against the Iranians, against the Persians, against the Iraqis, I'll be covering that in my next sermon, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر.
Join us for a unique event.
founded on true Islamic principles. Witness a global community, united behind one global leader. An international event, uniting mankind. Tune in to MTA International for exclusive coverage of Jalsa Salana United Kingdom 2022, the annual convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. Watch live coverage on the 5th, 6th and 7th of August.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم إنك حميد مجيد